Yesterday was such a surreal day. I was getting ready to record my special last night. It was in the afternoon. And I'm sitting here in my studio and I look at the stairs through this glass door that I have here. And my wife is on the phone and she's standing in the stairway and she has her hand gripping the stair rail. And I could see it in her eyes. She was on the phone. And I could see confusion and I could see trouble. And in my ear, I'm hearing 5, 4, 3. And I said, stop. I need 30 seconds. I need to talk to my wife. And I motioned for her to come in, and in a confused and dazed sort of way, she kind of stumbles into the room. And I said, what's happening, honey? And she said, it's Cheyenne. I didn't know what that meant. As a dad, you can imagine. I said, is she okay? What's happening? She meant it's Cheyenne on the phone. Cheyenne had just gotten past the crush of the crowd. She called her mom. She said, Charlie Kirk's just been shot. What? She sent me some video. And I knew it was true, but I hoped for the best. Until a few minutes later, somebody else sent me video that I hope you did not see of the bullet striking him. It must have been like what it was when you first saw the Zapruder film, or if you were standing in the grassy knoll. You just knew. I was on with Megyn Kelly, and we were holding on to the hope that he was somehow or another going to survive that. And Megyn said at one point, I don't know why I'm not announcing what everybody else is announcing, but I just can't. Megyn joins us now. Hi, Megyn.
Hi, Glenn.
What a weird 24 hours it has been. Where are you this morning in unraveling this knot in your head?
I still don't feel like I have my arms around it. I don't feel like I've totally digested the fact that he's gone and the way in which he was taken. You know, Charlie truly was such a larger-than-life figure. We say that term, but it was true about him. At 6'5", he truly seemed larger than most of us, and he was in his gifts and his tirelessness, and just knowing exactly where the seam in every story was, and his raw courage. So many times, I mean, we like to think we're courageous in our commentary. You'd look at Charlie and you'd think, now that's true courage. He would just say it like it was. The things you'd be thinking in your head, but you might not want to say explicitly, he said. And he took a lot of slings and arrows for it and was demonized for being all the terrible things, as opposed to people taking him on and saying, does he have a point?
Megyn, how do we process this? How do we surface from this?
You know, I think as with any loss, we all have to go through the denial and the bargaining, you know, like,
yeah.
I'm still refreshing my account, like hoping somehow there's a reversal, like somehow it was all wrong. Somehow we got it all wrong. Sometimes the media gets it wrong. It's absurd. We know what the answer is, but that's a natural reaction when you've had a sudden loss in particular. And anger's completely appropriate now too. It's completely appropriate. We are going to catch this guy. That FBI presser they just held was very encouraging. Two things happened this morning that are of note right now, Glenn. First, Steven Crowder, who is very solid on his law enforcement leak reporting. He has a proven track history. He's the one who got the manifesto from the trans shooter in Nashville before anyone else. And that's not all. He's had other leaks, is posting a document saying he received from an ATF source on the investigation. And that says that they retrieved the gun in the woods behind the campus, wrapped in a towel, and that there were 3 unspent cartridges in the gun that had transgender and anti-fascist ideology, something written on them. Now, that last piece of it was not confirmed by the FBI at the presser they just held, but every other thing was. The Crowder report was confirmed in every detail, including naming the kind of gun. He had that right. He had the location right. He had the trail and the tracking of the suspect right. They did not volunteer the business about what was written on the cartridges, nor did anyone there ask, because those reporters almost certainly don't follow Steven Crowder, because those reporters will probably tell you he's not to be trusted. Now, this is an early report, and it could turn out to be wrong, but that's the update as far as we know it. And the FBI revealing that they have a picture of him, that they did, of course, track him on his way to the shooting spot with surveillance cameras. Of course, on these college campuses, we would expect that in dorms or class buildings. And they appear confident, at least to me, that they've got the guy. And if they've got the weapon, Glenn, well, they may or may not have fingerprints, but they almost certainly have DNA. I mean, they almost certainly have DNA, which I'm sure they're uploading right now into every database they can. We saw this in Kohlberger. They're not supposed to use the public databases, private, like 23andMe or Ancestry.com, though in Kohlberger they did, and that is how they found Kohlberger. Sometimes they do. And even just a public database of DNA can lead you to at least a family member somewhere near a shooter or a suspect. And then it's just a matter of charts and a few hours in getting to that person's relative. So I believe they will find the shooter. And then we'll know the ideology. And then we'll have a place to put some of the anger, like an explanation or something that will help us understand what deranged person, and I don't mean that in the clinical sense, did this yesterday. I just feel like I don't know where to go until I know who did this and why.
It was about midnight last night when I talked to the president, and he was very clear that we will find whoever is responsible for this, and justice will be served. He was extraordinarily confident in that, which gave me an awful lot of hope. I don't know if you saw his speech last night that he gave from the Oval, but I thought he had very powerful, hit exactly the right tone. But I think the days of us fooling around and nibbling at the edges, I think those days are over.
I agree. And one of the things Trump said last night that was so good was he used the word terrorism. That's exactly right. That is how a lot of us are feeling. And I know you've had the same experience I've had in the past 24 hours, Glenn, where virtually everyone I know in the media business has reached out. I think there are a lot of folks who are in our lane in particular, in conservative media, who are very rattled by this because he was one of ours. And he was taken. He obviously we all have concerns about personal security now with the shooter at large as well. But I just mean that, like, the betrayal and the need to rise up and protect ours and the people we value and love. You know, this is like, I don't want to say a call to arms because I'm not encouraging violence, but I mean a unifying call for us to stand shoulder to shoulder and stand up.
Yeah, it is absolutely a wake-up call to anybody who thought, you know, oh, it's just going to, you know, pass us by. It's not. This is the call of our age, and how we respond is going to determine the future of freedom in this country. But I have great confidence that we will respond just as we did after 9/11. We responded with conviction. We responded with in an intelligent sort of way. We overreacted in some ways that I would like to avoid this time, but we came together as a nation and did what had to be done for the preservation of our nation. Now, if we can have the moderation lesson learned this time, perhaps we will be good. But I think the days of Antifa not feeling any ramifications for their work and others, those days are over as of yesterday. Megyn,
you know,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Glenn. I was just going to say, one of the things we did after 9/11 was when the stock market opened 2 days later, we all bought stock. We just,
yes,
it could have been a $5 stock, but everyone did it just to send a message that the financial center would stand. And I think we are going to see a reaction on college campuses when it comes to free speech by conservatives, unlike anything we've ever seen before in a similar vein.
I agree. I'm proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with you, Megyn, and be in the trenches with you all the time. You are a light in a lot of darkness, and I appreciate our years of friendship and everything that you've done for the country. Thank you.
Likewise, my friend. Thanks for having me.